Alrighty. Let's hit the road. Howdy, y'all. Just picked up Graybird from getting an oil change and a pre-trip inspection done. In about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we'll be taking a trip down to Florida again. And I'm planning on driving myself. And so I just ran up here, got my oil changed. I actually got it done early, about 2,500 miles early. But it was one of those, either get it done now or, you know, I don't get it done and go over. Or I get done closer, and with my luck, something would be broken and need to be replaced. And, you know, it would take the mechanic a few days to get the part in or something like that. So I did it about 3 weeks early. And also because of the holidays, because we're leaving the day after. Okay, that was a little extreme there, my guy. We'll be leaving pretty much right after New Year's, and so that's the other thing that's playing a role in it with the holidays and stuff. It just, timing would be a complete utter nightmare, so this fixes that a little bit. But she didn't get a full clean bill of health. She has some issues that will need to be addressed in due time, but nothing that's going to prohibit it from driving Florida and back. She's got some Earl leaks. I like saying it wrong. I know it's oil, and I say oil, but I like saying Earl because we're south of Mason-Dixon. Anyway, so she's got at least 2, they said. The valve cover or valve covers, and the oil pan. So I'm gonna look it up, see how difficult they are to do myself, because if they're just the gaskets, I could probably knock them out myself. The oil pan, I'm gonna wait until the next oil change. There's no reason to do it now, because literally just had the oil changed, and you gotta drop the pan to change that. Or you have to drain the oil to change it, so yeah. But I'm gonna look up, see how difficult that is. I think it's really easy on these, but I don't know off the top of my head how easy, or if I even want to attempt it myself, because the last time I did something similar with the transmission, that didn't end well. Granted, this would be different because I can actually drain it normally, not have to lower it slowly and let it drain. It can let the fluid drain, or the engine oil drain first and stuff. But yeah, so just got all that taken care of. Oh, and apparently there's a broken bolt on the exhaust somewhere. I think the paperwork said exhaust manifold, which I'm okay with, because, you know, it's not the intake manifold, because that's what my dad and I replaced. If it was that, I wouldn't be pissed. But yeah, so she but yeah, so overall she got a clean bill of health. Nothing too crazy. So I'm currently on my way over to the gym. I'm gonna head there. Nice, that guy just failed the traffic circle. I really don't understand why it's so freaking hard. I'll watch my language. Yeah, but, you know, downing at the one lane, that's going to solve all the problems. You know, right there just proved otherwise, but, you know, whatever. I'm not the engineer that spent years studying. I'm just the guy that literally drives the roads every fucking day. Or nearly every day. But I digress. A highway engineer that says, I appreciate what you guys do, and I know you guys do have an actual very difficult job with all this balancing everything out, stakeholders and stuff. I'm just still salty about what they did there, because they didn't really like tell anyone that they were doing that. They just did it, which kind of pisses me off. Because if it was one of those things like they had communicated that, like, oh, by the way, we're downing at the one lane prior to the construction project taking place, or the resurfacing and stuff, instead of just one day waking up and suddenly this, what was 2 lanes is now 1 lane. You know, that a little warning would have been nice. At least they did that with the other side. So hopefully enough people complain, or this doesn't change anything, they leave the other side alone, because I've already noticed the congestion on that side has already gotten worse. Because what usually I can just sail through most of the time, I'm usually getting stuck behind like 3 or 4 or 5 cars waiting to get through, and because everyone in this town or area is afraid of traffic circles, you know, people are slamming on their brakes and stopping when they don't need to. Dead zone. Well, somewhat dead zone. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. We'll see what happens today. But the stream won't end. It might go down for, you know, a minute or two. If it doesn't come up within like 5 minutes, if that, I refresh the browser, because I kind of lose it like right about here as I go down to this valley. But sometimes I don't. It's kind of hit or miss now. Seems to have gotten a lot better within the past year or so. I think they might finally fix that cell tower up there on the hill, readjusted the antenna or something. But I still sometimes lose it. Second headlight. Something right in my eye. Some other car news. Blue, her sound system is acting up at the moment. I believe it's going to be her amplifier. She has a factory amplifier. Because of the way that the failure is happening, my money is on that. If it's not that, it's going to be the radio. Which, if it's the radio, I'm going to be pissed, because I just spent $200 on that, and so it ends out of the warranty period. I checked. So he's only had a 50-day warranty. I might still contact the seller and just see if, you know, try if it is that. Otherwise, I'll just go and buy an aftermarket one. I'll suck it up and put an aftermarket one in. You know, I'm trying to avoid that, because I like having in that car the OD stuff. Because I want for that car, I want something that looks period correct. Like, I lucked out with the Crown Victoria here. When I put the aftermarket radio in this, I was able to find something that looks, you know, period correct. I was able to change the colors to match the gauge clusters. Well, it doesn't match perfectly, but to match the gauge clusters and the climate control lights. But overall though, it looks more period correct because it's got buttons. It's not touchscreen. I don't want touchscreens. Call me old-fashioned, but I like knobs. I like buttons. In fact, one of the things I really like about the Crown Victoria that I learned not that long ago is that this thing's actually got vacuum controlled HVAC. So, it really doesn't have any electronics other than for the blower motor and the resistor. Outside of that, telling it like how hot or how cold you want it, everything else like that, and then the which setting you want it. Crown Victoria is all vacuum control. So if you lose vacuum, you lose your HVAC, which that did happen to me once, but my mechanic was able to fix that at like genuine no cost. It was only his hourly rate. he didn't charge me the supplies that it took to fix it. I guess they probably just used tape or something. As long as it works, I don't care. Person driving off their headlights. Been noticing that a lot recently, or people like that are out just driving around with their freaking high beams on. It's like a lot of these cars have out those bright LEDs, but if they're angled right, they really aren't horrible to like everyone else. But some of them are angled just so horribly. God forbid you're in a car like me. The guy in front of me that's driving without headlights, the Honda there, and another one without headlights. Anyone in a slow-sitting car, we're just getting blinded. Whatever. Ooh. Now you guys can see that, but that was pretty damn close. Some white SUV, it was a silver Mercedes station wagon. Damn, I haven't seen one of those in a minute. But he got a little impatient back there and turned in front of the car in front of this pack. A little too closely for a 55-mile-per-hour road. Even though we're not traveling at 55, we just got forbid you travel at 55 on this road. I don't know what it is about this road. This is one of those area roads that people are like allergic to drive the speed limit on. Never understood that. Wow. My next oil change is due at 160,000 miles. I guess they did it by the 6,000 mile interval instead of 5. I'll probably stick with 5. I'd rather change my oil early than late. Hence why I just changed it 2,500 miles early before a trip, so I know I'm going to hit that. And because this is the holidays, I know I'm going to... What the hell was that? Probably this guy here, the trailer, probably locked him up by accident. So I just picked this up from the mechanic. I'll go run over to the gym, go to the gym. Usually I go to this one class that they hold at 6 o'clock on Mondays, but currently I'm the only one at home and don't want my dogs locked up for too long, and I felt bad going home, laying them out just to lock them back up again. These two of the dogs we unfortunately can't trust at the moment, being out on their own. The other two are okay. They don't get into stuff, or at least they don't get into the kind of stuff that would hurt them. The other two are not so smart when it comes to that stuff yet. And in fact, I had to pull a glass figurine away from the one earlier. He's only 12 weeks old, so he kind of has an excuse. But where the hell he even got this glass figurine from, I have no clue. But he found it. Just look, I'm just happy I caught him before he started chomping down on it. Ooh, we're down to $2.77 a gallon. Nice. Very, very nice. May or may not get gas afterwards. I don't know. We'll see. Lights actually change at the same time. Like, what the hell? That like never happens down here. Also, as you can see, Main Street's all nice and pretty down here in Westminster. I like how they started doing this, and they do it for the winter time. They don't just do it for like the holidays. They actually do it all the way through. I think last year they didn't take them down until March, I want to say. I would love for us to get a nice little snowstorm or something. So I'll totally make my way over here if I can and get pictures and stuff. Angle the car in the middle of the road or what? Because I've actually seen a couple people do that, and as long as you don't interfere with traffic and you're doing it like in the middle of the night, they usually don't care about it here. Usually. Keyword usually. And in this town, you know, midnight, there literally is like no one on the road at night, like on Sundays and stuff. And you're driving with your high beams on. A little blue light on your dashboard tells you that. And in case if anyone noticed it on the thumbnail picture, I know my airbag light is on. I actually told my mechanic to disregard it because it's a weird fluke that this car has. When it falls below 45 degrees, the light will come on. But once the interior warms up and I go and cycle the ignition later, so like probably after I get out of the gym, it'll probably turn off and stay off until tomorrow morning. And then it'll probably engage again. Or come on again. So. But I'm also happy I got all my Christmas shopping done finally. I hate to say it, but this year just kind of how things worked is I ended up doing primarily all on primarily all on Amazon. I was able to hit up a local business and order something special for my parents. That came in pretty cool. I'm not gonna say it on here because I know Mama MD sometimes watches these, so I'm not gonna say what it is. But it's cool. But so it wasn't a complete loss. But I've really liked, like, the past couple of years, I've really transitioned to trying to do more shopping at local businesses and or person shopping without headlights. anyway, trying to prioritize shopping at local businesses. Trying to stick with more like another person driving without headlights. And police are trying to get through the intersection. Of course, people are just stopping and not clearing out of his way. It's like, I would understand if they were facing the red light. Because that's one of those, like, I kind of don't blame someone for going through the intersection. Because God forbid you get T-boned, it's going to be your fault. Even if you were trying to do the quote-unquote right thing and get out of the police or fire or whatever's way, it would be considered your fault still. But those people had green lights. They could have, they could have easily just pulled up, got out of his way, so he could get through the intersection. Anyway. But, going back to what I was saying, though, I've been trying to prioritize doing shopping at small businesses, going to, like, brick and mortar stores and stuff like that. Because it's like, I don't mind online shopping. Like, it's definitely more convenient. But there's, especially for like specialty things, nothing beats a brick and mortar business. And even if it's not a small business, more times than not, nothing beats a brick and mortar, because you can actually go in there and talk to someone. And most of the time you can actually find someone that knows what they're talking about. They can tell you, like, hey, don't get that. We see that item here get returned a lot. Buy this. That kind of stuff. But it's just, unfortunately, this year things have just been a little hectic and just blah, and it hasn't been necessarily a good year. It's not the worst. It hasn't. I wouldn't say it's been a bad year, but it also hasn't been a good year. That makes sense. It's been a fire step. I mean, sorry, poor joke. Anyway, okay, let's try to focus on God knows what. There we go. But nope. Stop trying to focus on the little specs. You take this up to the car wash. And take it up yesterday. But apparently it's a good thing I didn't, because they found the oil leaks. It's probably also why they found the oil leaks, because I've been taken to that car wash, and that car wash does an amazing job with the undercarriage. When I did the oil change on this last time, because I did it myself, I had already started going to that car wash, and when I got underneath of this car, it's usually, all dirty, grimy, and stuff. I got underneath of it, and it was clean. Like, clean. And I was like, damn. For an old ass car. So that's probably why they found the oil leaks. Because they could actually see them and differentiate from something that's been there for God knows how long and something that wasn't. Ending the stream here momentarily. Finally getting up to my destination. Of course, that's when people start actually tuning in. But I'm probably not going to go in right away, so if anyone wants to ask any questions or anything, you're more than welcome. And I may or may not do another one on the drive back. We'll see. Parking situation. Looking good up front. Ooh, what you got? Good spot up front for once. I will take it. I'm back in because I'm better than everyone else. Nah. Although half the people I work with don't even know how to back in straight anymore. Damn, that parking brake is tight now. Holy shit. Oh yeah. Whew. Yeah, they definitely tightened that up. I asked them to tighten my parking brake up, and they definitely did it. Holy crap. Nice and tight now. So, alrighty. Well, I think this is going to be where I end the stream. I'll probably do another one probably next 45-ish minutes or so. Because I have to go inside, change and stuff. So, if you want to watch another one or didn't get a chance to really watch this one or whatnot, tune in about 45, 50-ish or so minutes. Talk to you later. Bye.